Hi everyone and welcome to Ask an Oiler. It's the first Ask an Oiler of the new season, and appropriately we decided we'd start with the new captain, Shawn Horcoff. Thanks for coming, Shawn.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Our first question is from Ryan in Kelowna, and Ryan asks, seeing as this is your first year as captain, what new responsibilities have you had to take on that you didn't have when you were an assistant captain?
I don't know. I think as the year goes on, there'll be times where you're obviously, maybe as a captain, you have to organize some certain things for team, team bonding and team meals and team functions and things like that, where you wouldn't have to if you're the assistant captain. But I don't know. I think a lot. I think more so when you're the captain, outside of hockey things, guys come to you when they have questions about what's going on and when's a team meeting or what do we have to wear or certain things, or if they have any questions for the coaches, they come to me and then I've got to relay them. So that's probably the biggest difference. Have
you seen some of that already? I know the season's only a week and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's always questions, and I think guys want to, obviously they want to, impress the staff, and everyone wants to be punctual, and Tom's big on things like that. So I think for us, the biggest thing is guys just want to be informed and know exactly what's going on, and it's kind of up to me to make sure they do that.
All right, our second question is from Navneet in Edmonton, and Navneet asks, being the captain of the team, what do you feel are the most important things to building a strong team? I'm sure there's lots of stuff to consider, but any
it's a good question.
Highlights?
I think, well, given our team, the situation we're in, I think it's just going to be, becoming a close-knit team, like a family as quick as possible. And I think, the best teams in the league are always the closest, and they seem to do things on the ice for each other that no other team's willing to do. And the only way to do that is by building a togetherness and a closest amongst your teammates. And I think for us, especially since we've got a lot of youth and a lot of a lot of new guys and a lot of new faces, it's going to be important for us to establish that early in the season.
All right, our next question is from Janice, also in Edmonton. Her question is, who was the most influential person or mentor in your development as a player?
Probably my parents. I think, they were both obviously in different aspects were obviously a huge influence on me. I think, my mom was always the one that got me up early and brought me to the to the rink and make sure I was up and fed and all those early mornings, and Dad really handled the hockey side of it. But they were there the whole step of the way. And then honestly, then my wife, I met her in college, and I've been with her for a long time now, and she saw me through a lot of my college years and early in my career, and she was a big help with that also.
All right, our next question is from Jake in Edmonton. Was Jordan Eberle's first ever NHL goal better than your first NHL goal?
Yeah, I think it's better than a lot of NHL, if not most NHL players' first goal. Yeah, mine was just a gritty goal. I remember just being in front of the net. George Rock, of all people, threw it from the half wall, and I just kind of redirected it in through Eddie Belfour. So you never forget your first goal.
What was your first game like, and was that first goal?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I remember the first game, but I don't remember who. They just asked me the other day, and I don't remember who it was against. But I remember the first shift. I think the first shift's always huge. I can remember, the start of the game and just kind of being overwhelmed, really, of the whole situation and in awe of the fact that you're in the NHL, and it's just an exciting time.
Our next question is from Mackenzie in Edmonton. If you could play beside one historical player in the NHL, who would it be and why?
Well, my favorite player, growing up was Steve Yzerman, but I'm going to think if you could play beside one player, it'd have to be Wayne Gretzky. I mean, Oilers were my favorite team growing up, and he's the greatest player ever played the game, so that's pretty an easy pick.
Brittany in
Vesuvius.
Okay, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, you got to be from BC to know that.
Her question is, first off, I would like to say that you're my favorite player, and congratulations on being named captain. My question is, what did you change in the off-season to improve your play, if anything?
Yeah, I changed a lot. I think I changed trainers. I changed, training philosophy. Really got back to some of the things that I was doing in the past, and obviously incorporated a lot of new things. I hired a skating coach and kind of a skill coach who would kind of, watched and critiqued my games from last year and kind of showed me areas where I can improve on, then built the program on ice for me to do that. So it was a pretty big summer and a lot of changes.
Did you spend the summer here? Or were
no, I was here for a little bit, but I spent summers in Michigan and then sometime in LA. So it's
cool. Good. Our seventh question is from Gavin. Who do you think is the most difficult center to play against in the NHL, and why?
Probably Sidney Crosby. I think he's, the kid does everything. He's so dynamic offensively, but he's great on face-offs. He's a tireless worker. There's never an easy shift against a guy like that. He's going nonstop, and every shift he seems to be at 100%. And he's hungry to produce every shift, and I think it's a good lesson for everyone that plays against him. If you can copy and are part of that, you're going to be a lot more successful. So it's pretty difficult to play against.
Our next question is from Katie, and Katie asks, if you had a bucket list, what would be one of your top items? And I assume winning a Stanley Cup is up there, but
yeah,
got some other things in there?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, winning a Stanley Cup, obviously, especially being as close as we were, is at the top of your priority. I think, hockey for sure. Other than that, probably to play Augusta National and golf would be something that I'd like to do. I don't know, those two. I mean, we'll keep it at that. I could probably go on forever, but those would be my two biggest sports ones for sure.
All right, Tyler asks, what's your favorite board game and why?
Board game. Good question. Probably Cranium, just because, it's fun. We played it a lot. I played when I was in Sweden for the lockout. I was just in a really small town, and I was there with Dan Cleary and his wife, and there wasn't much to do, so we didn't really speak Swedish at all either. So that's when Cranium first came out, and it got us through the winters there. So.
Our next question's from Matthew in Halifax. Do you have any pets, and if so, what is her or his name?
I have a pet dog, and his name's Jimmy.
What kind of dog is it?
Jim. It's I think they call it a Daisy dog, but it's a mix between like a poodle, a Bichon, and a terrier. So it's one of those hypoallergenic dogs. So it's a good dog.
Perfect. We're getting near the end here. Virginia asks, it seems like you are everyone's pick to be an amazing race partner. Why is that, and who would you want as a partner?
I don't know. I would love to be on that show, though. I don't know. I think, I don't know why. You'd have to ask them why, I'd be picked to. But I think, I'm super competitive. I like all those kind of challenges.
A little bit
like
organized,
too,
maybe?
Yeah, super organized. Probably a little, experienced and that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I think on my team now, probably the person you gotta be intellectual. You gotta be calm too. You can't have a person that's
Swedish would help, but you don't have that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'd probably go with Gibby. Yeah, athletic, smart guy, calm.
All right. Our next question is from Ava. Hi, Shawn. I heard that you like rap music. Who is your favorite artist, and what other types of music or artists do you enjoy listening to?
I listen to all types of music, but I do enjoy rap. I think Eminem, Jay-Z, probably are two amongst my favorites. And I just think I went to school in Michigan State and spending obviously in Detroit. You can't really help but like rap.
Our last question's from Kate. Hi, Shawn. What famous city best matches your personality?
Good question. Maybe New York. I think a business-like atmosphere, really fast-paced, a lot of people doing things, but lots to do and lots of fun also. So New York City.
Do you have any plans for when we hit New York a little bit later?
Oh yeah, our schedule's not this year. Is not too conducive to spending too much time there, which is too bad because I think it's everyone's favorite spot to stop and play. Madison Square Gardens is an amazing arena and has a lot of tradition, and just the city itself is unbelievable. So, but I think we get one day there, and I'll probably walk around, do a little shopping, just sightsee. So it's always fun.
Cool.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Great. Thank you.
Stay tuned to EdmontonOilers.com to find out who the next guest on Ask an Oiler will be.